Hello AOS fans, it's me Pete. I'm here with another deck video this week, and this week I am playing Grashrak's Despoilers. I'm coming up against the Gits. This was a matchup picked by our Patreon supporters. That's right, if you are a $10 supporter, you get to say what you get to see. So maybe it's worth having a look and checking us out. There are links in the description below. So, on with the deck. What have I picked? Well, I've decided, whilst I love all of this objective grabbing shenanigans, I wanted to try a bit of good old-fashioned aggro with the Despoilers because I think they've got what it takes. Not to mention Felhoof's ability, which you could use to sacrifice those tokens to get rerolls. I think Draknar himself could be quite a formidable foe. So I've gone for the usual kind of balanced deck here that I would take against anyone, not necessarily just the Gits, but I think it might do quite well against them too. So let's crash on with my objectives. First one is calculated risk, always a must-have I think. Keep Choppy next because I'm going all out, and then opening Gambit because I'm hoping I'll have 6 instant scores. I should be able to get one of those off easy enough. I then have 1 armour because I've got a few cleave options in this deck, as well as having a few cleave options in my warband once they're inspired. And then I have shortcut after that because you've got Course of the Sneak. Shortcut is pretty much a really easy one to score. Plus some of the other cards I've got will help me move around as well, and they might help me score it, or my opponent might help me score it. I've then got Warning Shot because whilst I've got ranged attacks, man do they suck. I'm very unlikely to hit with any of them, so I can use one of them early on as an attack I know is going to fail when I've got Warning Shot to score that. And then we get onto the more warbandy specific cards. I've got Blood Ritual. I do like this one. 2 or more ritual counts on your leader's card. Well, you start with 1. I can keep hold of that until I kill someone else. I've got 2. From then on in, Blood Ritual should be scoreable. If I score any more tokens, then I'll just use those in my attacks. Bloodshed next. Scoring an end phase if 3 or more enemy fighters are out of action. Well, against Stormcast warbands I might struggle, but against most others at some point I reckon I can get 3 people out of action when I'm going all out offensive, and that's 2 glory, which is pretty nice. Then have Stampede, another surge card. Score immediately when you do 3 charges. Well, I'm hoping I should be able to pull that off. Next one, Survival of the Fittest, which is a dual card. You score it in an end phase if you have 1 or more surviving friendly fire and 5 fighters are out of action. So it's not quite as good as Garrett's card, but it's good enough, frankly. And it's 2 glory again. Very nice. Pretty easy to score as well because your guys are going to die in droves, and hopefully you'll come up against a warband of at least like 5 or 6, and so getting 5 people out of action overall should be fairly doable. I then have Scrum because I've got quite a few people, so I should be able to score that easy, get a charge, move people into position. And then there's always the off chance that my opponent might score it for me as well. And the last card, I have got Supremacy in there because I've got some movement shenanigans going on, so I can score that. It's still worthwhile taking, especially for 3 glory. So those are my objectives, and what am I going to use to help me score that glorious glory? Well, these are my gambits. I figure I haven't got many extra attacks on Draknar, and I'm going to want to try and get as many on him as possible. He's going to be my main breadwinner when it comes to getting glory, so I want to get extra attacks off with him wherever I can. So to that end, I've taken aggressive defense. Hopefully I'll get attacked by someone who isn't going to be able to one-shot him, and I can use that one to take that hit, whether or not I get damaged, and then get another extra attack off. And then have Centre of Attention for pulling people in when I want to batter more people to death without having to make a charge. And after that, Mirror Move. If my opponent does a push, hopefully I can use that push to push Draknar up into the field as well. He is my #1 man here. I've then got Keen Avarice. Use that one to go after someone who's holding an objective to get an extra dice and a cleave. Could be very useful, especially against some warbands that like to hunker down, sit on objectives and not move anywhere, and hopefully rely on their shields. And then I've got Baying Anger, +1 dice for the next attack, and Baying Hatred, +1 damage for the next attack. Both of those very nice indeed to help up your chances of crits and do more damage. I then got Bull Charge, another one great for charging, getting an 8 sword, great for Draknar once he's inspired he rolls swords, or any of my other guys really who roll swords as standard. I then got Vile Invaders, choose 2 hunters and push them up to 2 hexes each. Could be very handy for jumping on objectives for supremacy, or just basically shoving people up the field into other positions. Frenzied Search next, because it's always nice to be able to pull out as many cards as you can. The more cards you have in your hand in one go, the more chance you're getting more different combos off, which is always useful. And the last one is Restless Prize. Again, this was to help with supremacy, but also hopefully to screw up my opponent. If he's going after objectives, I can use this to shove an objective out of the way and really do them over for a round. So those are my ploys. They're going to help me score that glorious glory. And what am I going to spend it on? Well, these are my upgrades. I've got Fighter's Ferocity, roll a crit, get +1 damage. Probably going to go on one of my weaker fighters, maybe Felhoof himself, probably not Draknar though. Mutating Maul next, because anything that helps up my damage and my attack is great. It has cleave as well for my what armor objective, and knockback one, which is handy as well. This is almost definitely going to go on one of the weaker guys, because the more I can beef them up and make them a viable target as well, the better. Potion of Rage next, probably going to be going on Draknar when he needs to make that all-important attack against the enemy boss. And Sudden Growth for keeping Draknar alive, pretty much, or possibly Fellhoof. Fellhoof could fill in here for Draknar in a lot of situations. Spectral Armor next for 2 dodges, great for either of them really. And then Trophy Taker, a Draknar specific one, basically Tomb of Offerings, gain an extra glory when he kills someone. Well, hopefully he's going to kill a lot of people, I might as well double down on that glory. Then Amber Bone Axe, 2 hammers and 2 damage, but when you make that attack you discard it and gain another glory. Are you seeing a pattern here? More glory per kill the better. I then got some classics, Great Fortitude and Great Strength, and the last one is Trophy Belt. I didn't quite have the heart to take Sudden Growth out because I really didn't want to have to risk losing Draknar if I beefed him up, but I've got Trophy Belt in there, and whilst it's Hunter only, and I can't put that on Fellhoof or Draknar, I could possibly use Great Strength, Fighter's Ferocity, some of my ploys, such as Baying Anger, Baying Hatred, Keen Avarice, those kind of things, and maybe a Mutating Maul upgrade or an Amber Bone Axe to give one of my other guys a little bit more damage and a little bit more punch so that they can start earning some of the extra glory for me with the Trophy Belt. So that's it, nice and simple deck, simple plan too. Charge across the field, smash people in the face with axes, maybe bleat a bit whilst I'm doing it. Let me know what you think of the deck, anything in there that you wouldn't take, anything I'm missing that you would always take, do let me know in the comments below. I like this deck simplicity, there's not a lot here to really have to think about too much. It's mostly smash, 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 with a few extra cards that I do like Centre of Attention and Restless Prize, Frenzied Search, just to give you that extra bit of flexibility. Vile Invaders is another one. I think it's really good now that you have to really worry about your opponent could be going heavy on objectives, and that forces you to think a bit more about how you're going to do that. Hopefully my main plan though, if he goes for objectives, is just run across the field, smash him in the face and knock him off the objectives. But you never can trust those dice. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this. Like I say, this battle report has been picked by our $10 Patreon supporters. If you are interested in seeing particular fights, then do check us out. There are all the other extras you will get at the same time, like 3 extra battles a month that never appear on YouTube. I'll see you soon in the Beastgrave.